if it bothers you, the idea of being live, then don't worry about it because nobody's probably watching at this point.
No worries.
Welcome to Rapid Art. I'm calling the show Rapid Art for now. And today we're going to be talking to my friend Manny Mestas, who is currently living in California. He's a guitarist. He is also been officiating. Well, I think he performs and officiates weddings. Are you still doing that?
Yes.
Does some DJing.
Yes.
And I met Manny, like 25 years ago, roughly.
Yeah.
When he was living in Spearfish, he was the music director at Praise Fellowship in Spearfish. He was a classical guitarist, which I thought was amazing, and I thought I needed to get to know this guy. And so he was good enough to kind of like spend some time with me, which I really appreciate. I still appreciate to this day. It's good times. So is there anything else you could tell us about yourself or that you'd like the people to know?
Well, I have been in music business for over 43 years. And I started off doing weddings, and I've done everything in between to television. Had my own television show called All About Guitar, had 200 episodes, world-class artists from Scott Tennant to Pierre Ben Susan, and other renowned artists. I've had in-depth experience with guitars, taught thousands of students, authored a book, teaching method book, recorded CDs, played with world-class violinists, and continue to do so.
Yeah, I was thinking about your public access show. You were kind of ahead of the curve on this whole, the whole COVID business. Have you thought of maybe getting that going again, or?
Totally. Oh yes. Yeah. I took a little bit of a break because I went back to college and just finished my master's degree in social justice.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about that because that sounds interesting, and I don't know much about it. But how about let's start off with since I know you more as a musician, right?
Right.
And so, in fact, there was you played at the Bay Leaf in Spearfish. There was one show you did there in particular that inspired me to go in the direction I did after that with guitar. Right? You played it was an evening of instrumental fingerstyle music. It was it was and I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. So if anybody out there listening saw me play like at Roma's or any other restaurant in the hills in the last 10 years, this is the guy that kind of got me started in that direction.
Awesome.
But okay, but the idea behind this show is that we're supposed to be, kind of maybe talking a little bit about how the pandemic has possibly affected your life as an artist.
Sure.
So like in the realm of gigging, has anything changed for you?
Yes. Oh, totally. There's zero calls, zero opportunities. Yeah. All the opportunities that were just abundant. I live in the Central Coast, which is like it's amazing location. It's a destination place for people to recreate and to vacation. It's a destination. So we have thousands and thousands, if not millions of people that come every year from around the world to vacation here on the Central Coast. Therefore, and also we have like 200 wineries in Santa
Mm.
Barbara County, and probably another 200 to 300 wineries in San Luis County. So a lot of the high-end wineries are always looking for live music. So I have plenty of opportunities. I could be doing it like full time and have actually, but it all dried up. Everything. There was no opportunities. In fact, the wedding industry is still shut down, even though
Okay.
other essential services are open. And so people that were completely self-employed and dependent on entertainment industry are uh, bankrupt unless they are able to
Oh,
switch
wow.
gears. They've lost their businesses. They've lost a lot of stuff. I was fortunate enough about 5 years ago that I started to diversify, and so I started supplementing my entertainment income and business in another field, and that has actually sustained me during the COVID era. Otherwise, I would have lost health insurance,
Mm.
which is very expensive. And at my age and at my wife's age and needs, that would just have devastated. We would probably be homeless or near homeless uh, here if I hadn't shifted gears when I did.
Okay, so as far as finding jobs playing, is that so it's not really your choice. You would like to be out playing,
Oh,
but
totally.
the venues just aren't open or yeah,
They just started like within the
yeah,
last couple of weeks. I talked to previous winery, and they're having it open outdoor
yeah.
seating. Everything is outdoors now, but it's very limited, and it's not very sustainable because I mean, if you have 25% right now is all they can do outdoors, and
Okay.
it's not sustainable to a lot of businesses.
So a business that might have been on the margins anyway is going to really be hurting.
Yes.
Man, yeah, I don't know what to think of all this. It's not quite as bad here in South Dakota,
Uh-huh.
but I know there have been restaurants especially have really been hit.
Yes.
But okay, so maybe yeah, this would be a good time to get your YouTube get move your public access show to YouTube.
Yes. That's the whole channel is now converting into more social media platforms. It was just exclusively through Comcast cable community access channel, but we're diversifying absolutely.
Oh, okay, so you're still working in that area.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. How about what about teaching? Is teaching still kind of bringing in some bucks, bringing in
I
some money?
at one time I was doing 50 students a week, and now I have one.
Does that have anything to do with what's been going on or
It's well, part of it was the economy from 2007 when it tanked. The music store that I taught went bankrupt,
mm,
and now another music store that I taught at is disappeared. Uh, at one time, there were like three or four music stores in Santa Maria, and now there's just two,
okay.
and they're very small, very uh, half of what they used to be.
Yeah. Have you changed the way you teach? I mean, even though you're down to one student, are you online more or with that one student?
Oh, the student's been with me for a long time,
Yeah.
and so it we haven't changed the format at all. We
Okay.
just continue plugging away. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm a little low on short on students right now too, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I think considering everything that's going on, I was all right with it. I'm the guy that, I'd have, I'd get sick in the fall.
Oh,
I catch every cold, every
yeah,
whatever that comes through my
sure,
studio.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I think I'm hoping maybe I can stay healthy this fall
Uh-huh. Yeah.
into winter. Okay. All right. Now, I know that after you graduated, you had uploaded a couple videos is,
Hmm.
kind of talking about your education, your recent,
Yes.
uh, and so I was going to go back and do some research by listening again, but I
Okay.
see they're gone, right? Because your YouTube channel is now all music, right?
It
Or
may there may be
oh,
I think I put a couple of those shows on uh,
okay,
private access. I still have them. I mean the videos. I did my master's dissertation. I think was on video, but
okay.
it's private.
You might have to refresh my memory a little bit, or
Sure, go ahead.
can you kind of, I mean, well, actually, just the idea of a social justice degree, I can't, I'm not sure what that would, like, what the I mean, like, what was the curriculum? What's sort of the idea behind getting a social justice degree?
Well, I have to be very honest with you. I didn't know really what I was engaging in when I signed up for this master's degree. What appealed to me was I had just finished my BA in sociology, and I wanted to do something very practical that that wasn't necessarily on an academic um, trajectory. I wanted to be practical. I wanted to get boots on the ground, really learn how to do some community organization to affect change here in Santa Maria. And so that was a strong component of this degree. The other parts I was not, um, I didn't have really an understanding about, but I'll tell you what they are. So basically, is through Prescott University College out of Arizona, and the degree is really understanding how um, different forces in the world have exerted their control over people groups to exploit them for economic gain. So you take any of the super countries of the world, and they will have a history of exploiting people for to develop that particular country, and so they dominate people. They pretty much destroy their culture and subject them to adopting uh, the dominant forces of their particular country. It's called imperialism. And so anyway, with all of this exploitation of weaker, or not weaker, but vulnerable cultures and people, this is an injustice. Okay, so it's exploitation, and then these other people groups have to make their way back to living a sustainable life, which means recovering their cultural identity, recovering their language, their values, their spirituality, and making them just as valuable as the dominant society or dominant countries, because they are legitimate, they are valuable, they are um, just as important as a dominant society or dominant culture. But so this is where the battle is, or the struggle is to gain that momentum to legitimize your cultural identity. And so the degree is exploring the history. You're really getting deep into the science, the statistics of the injustices. I mean, all the science is there, all the statistics are there to prove that there is a injustice, there's cultural injustice, uh, there's a dominating force, and then there's a alternate struggling, fighting force of a group of people, and it's all established. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to look at a statistic. I see them all the time, even in other fields. Like I'm continuing in psychology right now, and I read a statistic about a particular people group, and their particular psychological problems was 10 times the statistical rate as other cultures. And it just goes on and on. You just see it over and over, the effect of a dominating culture over another culture. And so the idea of of getting the degree is understanding the paradigms, understanding the dynamics of this struggle, and then being getting engaged myself in a way that brings um, some kind of restoration, some sort of, I'll use a religious term, redemption, so that there is equality, so that there is a equal opportunity that's sustainable for those that have been exploited.
Okay. Wow. See, I was trying to keep this whole business free of politics, but I don't know if we're so like maybe like Howard Zinn's history of the people's history of or what's the was that are you familiar with Howard Zinn?
No, I'm not.
Well, he wrote a book called I think it was fairly popular called The People's History of America or something roughly
Oh,
along those
really?
lines. But so
Okay.
his history was basically the history of poor folk um, in throughout the United States.
Hmm.
And so rather than focusing on um, the industrialists and the robber barons and more the people that lived and died like building the dams and the railroads and you know so yeah, that's a pretty heavy subject and pretty
It
relevant,
is.
you know,
Yes,
for our time, what's
exactly.
going on right now. Um,
Absolutely.
so how, I mean, like, you know, what's going on? I mean, what do you, I mean, are you engaged right now in some kind of activism or some kind of, um, you know, movement or was this, I mean, you kind of have the degree and you're sort of like, it's just a way of raising awareness or you're,
Well,
I mean,
I have I have been active from um, a view of my own experience. In other words, I have used my own life experience to tell the story and to bring awareness to injustice. That's where I started, because I believe that you have more legitimacy when you can speak from your own life experience.
yeah, okay.
And so I started there, and and that's where I'm kind of still there. I'm operating or telling my story of injustice.
Okay. Well, that's great. Hey, can you I think I'm gonna these are supposed to be about 20 minutes. So
Okay,
let's,
we're already
can
over,
we,
huh?
yeah, that's okay. But can we keep visiting? But I'm just going to like we can say goodbye to
Okay,
everybody right now. And then I can edit the video later. And then I
sure.
don't know what we'll do with this last bit. But so anyways, one